Andrew Schulz has become one of the biggest comedians working today, but on his path to success, he's rubbed quite a few people the wrong way. Most recently, YouTuber Jeff Wittek. The strife between the two started when a clip from the Flagrant Patreon came out recently of Schulz being pretty rude and disparaging towards Jeff. He also mocked him over his incident that occurred with David Dobrik.
Isn't it Jeff Wittek the crying? Is he still crying about that, dude? Why is that guy still fucking crying about that? I got hit by a crane and I'm blind now. It's like, get over it.
The clip from the Patreon got a lot of attention on social media, and Jeff Wittek has since reacted to it.
Isn't it Jeff Wittek the crying? Is he still crying about that, dude?
Ugh.
Is he still crying about
I hate this guy already.
I'm gonna make you cry, you unfunny.
Oh, yeah, why?
This is his demise. This is the start of it. Yeah, so that really pissed me off because I know the guy, and it's just like, why, bro? Like, you have nothing to talk about.
If you don't know who Jeff Wittek is, he's a YouTuber who used to work with David Dobrik a lot in the Vlog Squad, and they made a lot of videos together over the years. The incident Andrew is referring to is the time that David Dobrik was operating a crane, and he did a stunt with Jeff on the end of the crane, and he was trying to swing him into the water, but ultimately failed, and Jeff smashed his head into the side of the crane. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty bad, and I'm not going to show it here out of respect for Jeff, but it resulted in several pretty serious bodily injuries, such as torn ligaments in his leg, a broken foot, a broken hip, a traumatic brain injury with 9 different fractures in his skull, and a shattered eye socket. So this was not a small accident. This fuck up by David Dobrik almost killed Jeff and left him with life-altering injuries that he's still facing difficulties with today. Also, David Dobrik tried to mend the situation by promising to pay all of Jeff's medical expenses to help him during this tough time, but according to Jeff, that never happened, and the two eventually had a falling out because David never kept up with his end of the bargain, and it seemed like over time he eventually just stopped caring about Jeff. At this point, it's been several years since this happened, and Jeff is still getting surgeries over it, and sometimes he'll just randomly blow a fuse and roast David like he did when he tweeted this at Snapchat. It also got so ugly that Jeff decided to sue David over this whole ordeal, so obviously he is still pretty upset about the whole thing, and I can't really blame him. However, some people think it's been long enough since this happened though, and that he should lay off complaining about the situation so much, which is basically what Andrew Schulz was getting at with his clip. Schulz also made this comment about him being stupid for doing it.
So David Dobrik knocked him with a crane or something?
I guess, I don't know.
Spun him around on a crane.
But he agreed to do it?
Yeah, but he didn't know how fast it was going to go.
Oh, that's a good excuse. You were just his dumbest friend that he selected to do it. He's not asking the smart friend. He's asking the fucking idiot who's willing to get hit in the head by the crane.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Maybe that's why he's upset. Yeah. Like when he woke up, he realized, oh, I was the only one retarded enough to do this trick. And then we still got to hear him fucking cry about it.
I don't think anyone's denying that this wasn't the best idea, but according to Jeff, he told David to start off by going slow, and then he sped it up as a prank, which obviously is what led to this catastrophic injury. So David was a huge piece of shit for doing this without asking Jeff first, but I feel like they could have at least put it behind them if David actually just covered his medical bills like he promised he would. Obviously, we don't know for sure if this would have prevented the fallout, but I'm sure it would have sustained the relationship at least a little bit longer. Andrew obviously knew this would get a lot of attention despite it not being the best look for him, but I don't think he expected it to blow up quite the way it did, and we'll get more into that in just a second. But even though I'm not really a hater of Andrew Schulz, it would seem that statements like these with a lot of attitude have really rubbed people the wrong way and turned some of his old fans against him. You guys are going to call me gay for this, but I'm going to give Schulz the benefit of the doubt and say he was just trying to be funny given the situation, and that he probably didn't really dive into it to see just how messed up it really was and how screwed over Jeff got by David not covering him when he said he would. But if you don't feel the same way about it, I totally understand. Jeff took these comments to heart and has been going after Schulz directly, like this comment on Andrew Schulz's post where he says he's not likable or funny. And I went to check for this comment again recently on the post and it was gone, so I don't know if Schulz blocked Jeff or deleted the comment. Then again, it could just be buried somewhere deeper in the comments. Take that with a grain of salt, but I figured it would be near the top, given Jeff's comment having quite a few likes. Jeff also recently went on the George Janko show and was very direct about his disdain for Andrew Schulz and promises he would knock him out cold in a fight.
But this past week, Andrew Schulz started yapping, saying, oh, when the fuck is Jeff Wittek going to shut the fuck up about it? You dumb, fucking arrogant, egotistical motherfucker, I will knock you out cold in front of all your friends on the couch. Those fucking
Allegedly.
punks.
I mean, listen,
No,
this
not
is
allegedly.
active.
A lot of people in this business need to be humbled, and he's one of them. His ego's out of control. Even the shit he did with Steiny, like, bro, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, telling these kids, like, I'm too cool for this podcast. You know, Flagrant's basically Impulsive 2.0. They're going downhill.
Andrew Schulz is funny, bro.
Say something that's funny that you remember. I can remember Bill Burr jokes. I can remember Louis C.K. jokes right off the top. Dave Chappelle. Tell me a joke.
I
that
think
Andrew-
it's
that
harder
Andrew
for
said.
him because he's more in the moment. And like,
Okay, maybe you're making excuses for him.
No, you're making me nervous now.
No,
Like,
no.
I actually think this is really cool. Jeff seems like a nice guy, and he makes some great content on YouTube, but he's very honest when he feels like someone's being an asshole to him. I think if Andrew can dish out all this smoke online, then Jeff is absolutely within his right to call Andrew out for a fight. Whether it be in the streets or in a boxing ring, we have yet to see. I also think Jeff would probably win in a fight against Andrew because there's pictures and videos on Instagram of him training really hard. Obviously, I know everyone looks good in training footage, but he seems pretty confident in his ability, and he also stands on business with people who call him out. Like, Jeff will post pictures of him post-training, and then people will comment trolling shit, and he'll just reply to them like, alright, I'll send you the address and time if you want to come spar me. And then immediately the guy who left the comment just backs the fuck off. I just think it would be interesting because I don't know how much Schulz trains, but I know there is that video of him with Sean O'Malley kind of just dicking around. So he probably does train a little bit, but I have no idea if he would be better or worse than Jeff Wittek. I'd love to see this fight happen though if it does. There's a lot of people who think Schulz needs an ego check or a reality check, and I'd say these people definitely have a point. It seems like the only reason Jeff really took this to heart was because he felt personally disrespected by Andrew's words, and he took the statements that Schulz was making and the mockery he made of him as fighting words.
I'm gonna get a call
Listen,
from him.
he should step back and be a writer or something, somebody behind the scenes, because I don't think he just has the charisma.
Oh, you're like angry with him.
The only thing that pisses me off is those dumbass comments, and to see it from a peer, somebody I thought was my friend, like actually yapping and saying real disrespectful fighting words, then, you know, I haven't had that. I haven't had a beef online.
Yeah.
So to have him do that and hide it behind a paywall on Patreon,
Yeah.
and then of course my
Community.
supporters,
Yeah.
they'll find it and send it to me. So I was pissed when I saw it, you know?
It seems like being on the Flagrant podcast all the time, surrounded by your friends, can put you in an echo chamber if you're not all constantly checking each other when something is off. And a lot of people seem to think that's what happened here with Andrew. I understand where Jeff is coming from, though. He even said he would fight Schulz on the streets if he saw him, and not just in the ring.
Have you talked to him about it?
Just threats.
Okay. I get
No
it. I get
response.
it. I get it.
I was like,
I-
I was like, do you want to do an influencer boxing match, or do you want to just do it on the street? Should I just beat you up on the street, or could I do it like, you know, if you're walking out of a restaurant or something on a date, with, you know,
Here's the
that'd
thing,
be fun. Embarrass him in front of his, you know, loved ones.
Yeah, so Jeff is not happy, and I don't know how Andrew is going to respond to the situation. He could accept the boxing match because I do think he actually trains, or he could deny it and say he was just trying to be funny and doesn't want to fight, or he could just ignore the whole situation entirely. I do think Schulz gets a little too much hate in some situations, but I can understand why people think he's being a huge dickhead in this one, and I for one would love to see these two guys fight, or kiss, in the ring. Anyway, what do you guys think? Does Andrew Schulz have a point, or is he completely wrong and doing this in completely bad taste? Do you think Jeff is right to want to beat the brakes off of Schulz and humble him? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, make sure to subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video, and check out my Patreon for some bonus content. That's all I got today. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.